Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty Fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence, and I've got another video for you. This is one that I did quite some time ago. It was partially edited, so I couldn't actually open the file on my husband's laptop, and I didn't want to start editing again from scratch. It is what it is. Better late than never. Definitely better late than never. Anywho, so these are all the products that I'm using. That hyacinth glitter from Smiley's is one of my all-time favourites. I love it to bits. And if you'd like to know, as I put up on the screen there, if you'd like to know how I mix my acrylic colours myself, check out the video that's in the cards, because I mix my own coloured acrylics powders because I like to. And I'm using my Handolly as usual. This is a seconds, so she has some flaws, but she's still very much usable. And if you'd like to get your hands on a silicone practice hand, that is really cool to use, head over to www.handolly.co.uk and use my code KFGIFT for a discount. Right, on with the set. So, as you can see, I'm applying white acrylic on the little finger, first of all. So this is going to be a full nail of white acrylic. So I'm not actually building any strength with the white, although it is technically a strength powder. I tend to just use my coloured powders for colour, and then I build the structure of the nail with the clear acrylic. That's where I get my strength from. So just enough to give it opaqueness with the white. And then I'm going to add some of the hyacinth glitter on top of that, using some clear acrylic, just a tiny bead of clear acrylic, dip into the raw glitter and then apply that to the nail where I would like it, going from in a swooshy type of pattern from cuticle to free edge. And then I'm adding just a tiny bit of clear acrylic and then adding some of that other glitters that I showed you in the beginning, the fine loose glitters, and also some of those iridescent lens flares, stars type things. They're really pretty. So added a few of those, and then I'm also adding some gold leaf. Don't need anything to apply the gold leaf with. I normally just use my damp brush to pick it up and just apply it to the nail. It pretty much sticks on its own, so I'm not bothered about using clear acrylic to apply that. Then I shall move on to the index finger. As you can see, I've applied white to the free edge and blending that bead up towards the cuticle area, sort of halfway up the nail. Get that faded out. Make sure that tip is nice and opaque. Again, I'm just using it for colour, not strength at this point, so I'm keeping it very, very thin. I'll let that set up for a little bit. Move on to the ring finger, and I'm going to do a marble with the dark blue, the light blue and the white, as you can see. So I'm using wet beads and I'm just swooshing them around with my brush whilst it's obviously still wet, because that's the easiest way to get a marble with acrylic. You have to do wet beads. So I'm using 3 different colours of the blue, shades of the blue should I say, and the white for that marble. And once I'm happy with that, stuck my finger in it, patted that back down. And once I'm happy with that, I'll leave that to set up for a bit. And now I'm going to do my ombre baby boomer style. So I'm using my cover pink and I'm blending that, fading it over the white to get my baby boomer nail. So that first bead I put right where the white ended, and then blend that down over the white, not too far down, just the very front of the bead I'll bring down. Then I'll add my cuticle bead, get that cuticle area nice and neat and opaque, good coverage. Again, I'm keeping these layers very, very thin, as thin as I can get it without sacrificing colour payoff. So I will keep adding tiny beads wherever I think it's a little bit patchy, and then move on, let that set up. back to the marble nail, and I'm doing the same ombre style. So cover pink right where that ends, blend that over the top, and just work that blend and get it as neat as I can get it. I'm also making sure it's really opaque where the marble ends, because I don't want that to show through. So I'm doing it on a diagonal slant as opposed to straight horizontal across this time. So you'll see I brought down the pink, one side is lower than the other for that effect to occur. Then I can use another bead to do my cuticle area, get that nice and neat, keep it thin, really thin. This is super thin. Just get enough colour to give it, you know, opaqueness so it's not see-through anymore. That's all you need. So I'm also going to add some glitter into that marble. So I picked up a tiny bead of clear acrylic, added the hyacinth glitter, and I did apply some of the mylar paper, but then I wasn't happy with it, so I took it off. And now I'm adding some of the hyacinth glitter and also some of that loose iridescent fine glitter as well, just along that where the ombre begins, kind of thing. So in the middle of the ombre, diagonally, following the one side higher than the other. And then I'm also adding some gold leaf to tie it in to the little finger. I didn't really plan this set, so I'm sort of freestyling, as you can see, just making it up as I go along. So on this finger I will apply, I've decided to apply some of the mylar paper. So I've just got the strips of mylar paper and I've just cut it up into shards, and then I will use clear acrylic to stick that onto the nail. And this bit of mylar had a fold in it, so I've just put a bit more clear acrylic and patted it into it to get it to hold in place. And then I'm also adding some of those lens flares, the iridescent ones. Very pretty they are when they catch the light. Can't really see them until they catch the light. It's just, yeah, because they're kind of clear iridescent. So just use some clear acrylic to attach those on. And then on to the middle finger, I'm using some clear acrylic to pick up that hyacinth glitter and the other glitters that I've got, adding that on to the free edge. I decided to totally cover that, just pack as much glitter on as possible. And now I'm going to use some of one of the blues, so it's one of the lighter blues, and sort of ombre that over, as you can see. It's a really pretty blue. It's like a periwinkle kind of blue that I mixed up. Really like this blue. So yeah, just get that cuticle bead nice and neat, pat it in, pat, and then ombre it over that glitter. Still keeping it thin, and I also decided to add some glitter on top. I don't know why. Like I said, this was a freestyle, so it's just making it up as I went along. Totally doesn't make sense to ombre over the glitter and then add glitter on top, but yeah, whatever. It was what I fancied doing, so that's what I did. Oh, added some of the lens flares as well with some clear acrylic to get them to stick, and also some of the gold leaf. Why not? And then I've gone back to that index finger and decided to add some more bits onto that. So I actually put a tiny bit of clear acrylic down first and then added the gold leaf. I don't know why I put the clear acrylic down. I think I was going to put glitter and then I decided to put gold leaf, but yeah, you don't necessarily need clear acrylic to stick gold leaf on. It's pretty good at sticking by itself. Anywho, so now I will cap those nails with clear acrylic. This is where I'm going to not only encase that glitter and what's it called, gold leaf, to protect it, I'm also going to build the structure of the nail. So this is where I make sure I've got the correct thickness. I've got an apex where I need it to be in the back third, and I'm going to swipe the sides and try and keep my shape as best I can so that I don't have too much filing to do. I like watching it, I just don't like doing it. So I'll turn the nail to the side and I'll check it from the side profile so that I can see whether my apex is high enough or not, because you want a strong nail that's going to last. These are very long nails, so they do need a decent apex, but it doesn't actually have to be humongous. There is there's a fine line between high enough and not enough with your apex, but you'll get to know, well, you'll find out whether your nails break or not, whether you've done them thin, too thin or not. So it comes with practice. You'll know how high you need your apex to be to withstand the length of the nails, but it doesn't actually have to be huge. Just remember that. Cap that ring finger as well, of course. I'm going to cap them all. Again, adding my clear acrylic and swiping the sides and bringing that bead down, encasing all of those pretty glitters and that marble, because I don't want to file into any of that. So get that all encased and make sure that I've got my apex and strength there. Swipe them sides, keep the shape as best I can. Less filing is always good, definitely. And when you've got stiletto nails, the tip, you want to make sure that your tip is thick enough so that it doesn't break, because obviously with it being so narrow, it is easier for it to break than, say, a square set of nails kind of thing. So do make sure you've got enough thickness on the free edge, but don't make it too thick. You don't want it to become bulky. So again, with my clear acrylic, I'm doing the cuticle bead first and then working my way down the rest of the nail. And you see I do keep pushing in the sides to try and keep my shape, faffing about with a bit of glitter there on the free edge, trying to make sure it's right on the point. So I will add as much clear acrylic as I need to build my structure. I don't count beads, I do as many beads as it takes. That's just how I work. It's what works for me. Do what works for you. If you have a 3-bead system or a 2-bead system or even a 1-bead system, go with what makes you feel comfortable. As long as you've at the end of the day you've got a set of nails that are strong and well structured, it doesn't matter how many beads it takes. Yes, obviously if you're doing it in 1 bead it's going to be quicker, but it's up to you how you work. And Handolly is not in a rush to go anywhere, and I don't rush my sets, so I take my time, so I'm not worried about how many beads it will take me to complete a nail. So again, on the index finger, as you saw, I swiped the nail with a bit of monomer first. That helps the clear bead of acrylic glide over and blend in with the previous product. It's just a little trick, and it also helps to stop any clear acrylic crystallizing. So I do it when I remember. Half the time I don't remember to do it, but when I do remember, then I do it. But it is a good little trick, definitely. Now add that second bead, or was it the third bead? I've lost count. Bring that over, no, it was the second one. Bring that over the shards. Again, making sure my shape and structure's there. Swiping those sides, just patting and pressing and keeping it in shape. I don't want to lose the shape as well, not too much. They will need refining, of course, but yeah, the less filing the better, like I said. Make sure there's enough on that tip, don't want that to break. And once I have finished that, I will look at all of the nails and make sure that there is a decent enough apex and that all the nails are similar in their shape and size and thickness. So this is where I look at all of them, and I was like, the little finger looks a bit what's the word, a bit lower than the others, so I just added just a tiny bit of clear acrylic to build that up just a little bit more to go so that it matches the other nails. If you want a uniform set, you do have to look at all of the nails together, and same with the middle finger. It looked a little bit like there was a dip on it, so just a tiny bit more acrylic on that. It's better to do it now than put all your stuff away, and then when you've finish filing, you'll have to add more. Yeah, nobody wants to do that, so do check over the nails before you put all your stuff away and start filing. And so now it's filing time for my Frosty filing freaks. Here we go. So on this occasion, the routine I'm going with is cuticle area first. This is just a diamond bit. It's really nice for going around the cuticle area, as long as you've not made your cuticle area really thick. You don't need anything more than a diamond bit to blend that into the natural nail. So when you're applying your cuticle beads, do pay attention and don't make it too thick by there, so that you have loads of filing to do, because that's kind of pointless. But you shouldn't really need anything more than a diamond bit to deal with the cuticle area, really. I mean, obviously we all have our off days where we make it a bit too thick and we need to sort it out with a carbide bit, but generally a diamond bit is normally enough for the cuticle area. So now I'm using my hand file, and I'm going to do one side of the nail first of all, and I'll do that on all fingers. And as you saw, just comparing it with the other one, I want to make sure that my shaping is uniform across the board, with all the nails being a set, a group. They're not individuals, so I don't just pay attention to them as individuals as I'm filing. So as you can see, the way I'm holding my file is straight up against those side walls. I go underneath the free edge and rotate the file up till it's straight, and then I will do the side walls as well. So you're doing the under arch and the side walls at the same time, essentially, because you start underneath and then rotate up. You see, I start underneath and then I rotate up, and then I go straight and just bring those sides back in where I've lost the shape just a little bit, because we don't want them to look bulky. Taper that in, and as you can see, what I do on one side I've done on the other, so I want to make sure that the nail is coming straight, it's not wonky. If you file too much on one side, you'll have a wonky nail, so stop and look often to make sure your nail is still going straight out and not going to one side or the other side. You don't want a nail that's leaning, because it will look weird and wonky. I'm just comparing all of the free edges together to make sure they are a similar thickness and have a similar point to them. I've not made them too pointy, but pointy enough. It's up to you how pointy you want to make your nails, your stilettos. So now I'm just using a sanding band to go over the body of the nail rather than use my hand file. I'll save my fingers and my arms and use my sanding band. Sanding bands are really good for finish filing, and as long as you don't have too much filing to do and you don't need to use a carbide bit, a sanding band is more than adequate. It does the same as a hand file in that sense of finish filing, smoothing the nail out. I'm not trying to remove my apex. There's not really debulking to do on this set per se, so I'm literally just refining and smoothing the surface. Now you can see the file lines from where I used my hand file up each side of the nail. What I want to do is I want to contour those into the nail so that I've got a rounded. I don't want to leave those harsh lines on the side there. I don't want a squared off edges, so I will use my e-file and my sanding band to blend those into the nail so that I've got a nice contoured, nice semicircle going from one side wall to the other side wall. Blend those blocks off. See, that's where I'm blending it off, because I don't want that harsh line there. And you see, I stop and I look and I make sure that the nail is even. Onto the middle finger. As you can see, I'm doing the up and down type of motion, bringing it towards you, so you're pulling down with the e-file, and then I will use the e-file side to side. So there's different techniques with an e-file to get the desired result. So use your tools to your advantage. You know, yes, you can do it with a hand file by all means, but for me, using the e-file just makes my life a little bit easier. Well, actually a lot easier, because I'm not stressing out my hands trying to hold the hand file to do this part, which is difficult for me. So definitely use your tools to your advantage. See, blending that those side lines that I was talking about, the file lines, blending those harsh edges off and into the nail. There was a bit of acrylic stuck there by the cuticle area, just get that off, and then I can blend that cuticle area up into the apex and then down the rest of the nail. You want it to slope, so as it goes up from the cuticle area, it hits your apex highest point and then slopes back down towards the free edge. That's the kind of look you're going for. That should be a strong, well-structured nail by that point. And then I can remove all the dust, and I will give them a quick once over, make sure that they all look good together, that none of them look different to each other. And then, oh, there was a bit of acrylic on the bottom of that one, so get that off. So I don't know why the lighting went so weird then. So this nail looked a bit different to the others, so it just needed a little bit more refining. It's really important to stop and look. I know I say it in every video, but it really is important. So remove all the dust, and now it's time to bling it, baby. Oh yes. So I'm going to use my SBD London Diamond Gel. I love this stuff. It's brilliant for putting your crystals on. It's got a little brush, as you can see, and it's also got a sort of needle tip nib, so very handy for applying crystals. Put that on, and then I shall apply the crystals. Don't really have to explain applying the crystals. So how's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. The weather's turned pants. It was sunny and beautiful, and then the last few days it's been peeing down with rain and cold. Horrible, horrible weather now. So disappointing after we had all that beautiful sunshine and it was getting really hot. But that's England for you. What little sun we get, we have to enjoy it whilst we've got it. Otherwise, snooze you lose. And I lost because I couldn't, my feet were so swollen I couldn't go out, and by the time the swelling went down in my feet, the sun was gone. Just typical, absolutely typical, my luck that is. But the sun will be back at some point, and hopefully I will be able to enjoy it at that point. Oh, and the other, I think I mentioned in my other video, my laptop, I've got my laptop back. Yay! So happy, so happy. It's been a bit of a pain in the butt because they did reset it, so everything that I had on it and all my programs and everything, I've had to reinstall it and get it back the way I like it to be, and you know, settings and whatnot. Ugh, that's a job, but I'm glad to have it back, most definitely. It makes editing so much easier. It's not constantly crashing like my husband's laptop. Oh, I'm just happy to have it back. Oh, finished putting those crystals on, cured them in place, and now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. And as you can see, oh, brings that glitter to life. Love it, favourite bit. And we are also at the end of the video, of course, because when we get to top it off, then it's, yep, all done. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, watching this video, spending some of your most precious time with me. Thank you ever so much. I appreciate you. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Join the Frosty Fam. We'd love to have you. you know, I have some really good subscribers. They're a lovely bunch. So yeah, come join the Frosty Fam. It's all good. And if you feel like it, you are most welcome to leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to talk to you. And if you've liked or enjoyed this video, or it's helped you in any way, shape or form, please go ahead and click that like button. I'd appreciate it ever so much. It means a lot to my little channel, and it also gives me feedback to let me know that you're enjoying my content. Anywho, so that's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
The sun is going down now. Been at it for a while, and I have had enough of this. I doubt that we can solve it. Been trying for so long, and I just can't ignore that it won't ever be the same. No, we will never be that good again. Don't drag it out, skip the innocence. Things will never be the same again. You know,
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.